Hello and welcome to the Stronghold Digital Mining Daily Update. Today's Tuesday, February 20th, 2024. This is the first day of the week where financial markets here in the United States are open again. Yesterday was a holiday here in this country, so financial markets, for the most part, were closed. So shares of Stronghold Digital Mining closed at $5.19 a share. So they were down. They were down a lot more, actually, intraday. But despite that, shares of a lot of companies, I'm going to say all, but a lot of companies, not just in the publicly traded Bitcoin mining ecosystem, but really the stock market as a whole was very, very weak today. But specific to Stronghold Digital Mining, I see the price of Bitcoin above $52,000 per coin. Hash prices are about 8.5 cents. That is phenomenal. So from an operational perspective, things are looking good. I think today just happened to be a soft day in the market. Really good news. So today, the Copernicus browser. I'm in the Copernicus browser, which is allowing me to see satellite images captured by the Sentinel satellite, which is part of the Copernicus space program, so to speak. We have a very clear image of Scrubgrass. I'm looking right now at what I believe to be the area where now a second carbolith is being assembled. It's the kind of thing where this gives, I think, more of a big picture sense of what's going on. Somewhat more detailed photography will be needed to really get a better sense of specifically what's going on. So we'll see if we're able to maybe do that. I do suspect that at some point we may get some updated photography directly from Stronghold Digital Mining, but we'll see. From now until then, if any sharper images may happen to materialize. We'll leave it at that. So that's really good news. Now, I do want to mention that there was a third amendment to the WhiteHawk credit agreement. So, like, if you're brand new to Stronghold Digital Mining, we have basically generally speaking, a very collaborative working relationship, right, with the company's primary lender. And so there have been some amendments to that credit agreement. And so the third one took place not that long ago. And I sense that really this was part of a process whereby, hey, Stronghold Digital Mining raised some capital, right, in December of 2023. We raised about $15 million to purchase more Bitcoin mining equipment. So that equipment needed to be accounted for within the scope of the credit agreement. I also think Stronghold Digital Mining may have requested a little bit of flexibility as it related to some of the liquidity requirements that were set to take effect later this year. I think probably WhiteHawk countered, I'm guessing, by saying, okay, hey, we can perhaps accommodate that. However, we'd like to get the July and August mandatory amortization payments. We'd like to get those prepaid early from the funds that were recently raised in late December. And so, from my perspective, the credit amendment or the amendment to the credit agreement appears to be fair but firm. I mean, I think we're at a point where WhiteHawk wants to get paid back their principal, which makes perfect sense. I think from our perspective, right, I think Stronghold Digital Mining certainly wants to get sort of like going on the path to reducing that debt, right? I think that's going to be a good thing. I think as shareholders, one of the things we oftentimes hear is, Stronghold still has this, relatively small compared to what our debt load used to be, this relatively smaller piece of debt that has yet to be fully accounted for. Okay, well, hey, to the extent we start making these prepayments, we're whittling down the debt. That's a good thing. So those are the two things, right? Hey, taking a look to see that, hey, we are getting what appears to be a second carbolith that's being built. I will try to take a picture of this. I'll try to enhance it a tiny bit, and then I'll post a link to it in the description to today's broadcast, so you can check that out yourself. Again, it's not quite the same thing as taking a photo from closer, right, to the action. But, for right now, this provides a nice sort of like satellite view, which is reasonable. I'm not saying it's the best. This isn't like Google Maps or anything where you can like zoom right in, but it's pretty good. So, more generally, I will say that I'm grateful that we have this amendment to the credit agreement in place. I'm grateful that we appear to still have a fairly collaborative working relationship with WhiteHawk. There are some additional details in that amendment that I think bear some additional conversation, but I'm going to withhold having that conversation just until I can perhaps gather a little bit more information. Nothing serious or bad or anything weird like that. I mean, overall, it's a very straightforward, positive sort of thing. But I am a bit intellectually curious as to the mention of the carbon capture project, which, there are some stipulations in there as to the amount of money that can be spent on this project. And I just want to clarify if that's as it relates to some of the pre-deployment aspects of it, or if essentially there's a little bit more nuance to that than might meet the eye. Anyway, I don't want to get into the weeds regarding it, but it's, again, overall, I think this is a very fair but firm amendment, third amendment to the credit agreement, and I'm satisfied with it. Generally speaking, I'm very satisfied with it, as you should be as well, right? I mean, hey, to the extent Stronghold can have a reasonably collaborative working relationship with its remaining primary lender, I think that's a win for everybody. Okay, let's see how this trading week materializes. We got off to a bit of a rough start today, but again, the price of Bitcoin is doing well. Hash prices are doing well, so that gives me a high degree of confidence that if those revenue inputs stay in place, I think that's going to be really, really helpful for the company, right? So, okay, with all of that said, let's be positive or stay positive. Let's be great, and we'll see each other again tomorrow.